you answering the number two question. What should the uh, business person should know about the law? So you have already mentioned many times, and also in your answering about that we have to comply and conduct to the law, so that the business will not facing the problems, or we still can running smoothly and taking up the risk, yeah, and the business will running without any problems in the future. And the third question is about provide a real example of legal development in Indonesia, and then give your analysis why change to the law or policy the example chosen are necessary, and identify with aspect most dominantly influence. I need the explanation from first from Bradley Puspo. You have mentioned about the import duty, all right? Yes. Yeah. Can you little bit describe to the class about what you have sent? Wait, okay, you may open now. Open your open your answer for the tutorial one. Oh yeah. Only number three, yeah. So you can describe short about your answering the number three.
Uh, how how do I?
Yeah, you can explain why you choose the topic of the duty, import duty increase to 100%. Why the government should do that, and what's the purpose? Okay.
Okay, so for in terms of economic, the legal development that I chose is the increase of import duty for Chinese textile products to Indonesia by 200% by the Ministry of Trade. I think this protectionist policy can be attributed to the government plans in protecting the UMKM in Indonesia, and in response to the collapsing textile local industry because they are unable to compete against the fast and super cheap imported garments. Before, the tax import duty was only a mere 11%, the same with literally any other imports, and with the new regulation, it means a 189% increase. I think it is actually necessary if the government wants to protect local industries, as it could affect the economies of the local population. However, this could reduce the competitiveness of Indonesian markets and customers' ability to buy cheap clothing, especially if this law is not accompanied by the improvement in efficiency of the local industries.
So there must be two sides of sword, yeah.
Yes.
The government want to protect the SMA unit, yeah, small and medium enterprises,
Yes.
UMKM, by increasing the number of duty import to 100%.
200%.
But the other side, that the government will not competitive, yeah,
Yes, it will not be able to globally.
with other countries.
Yes.
That's the consequence of how they change the law.
Yeah.
What aspect in the changing of law?
I think it's maybe fixing the problem.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fixing the problem, because we want to protect the small and medium enterprises. Mostly, that's good one, but we have to remember that the competition or the number of the increasing is not so competitive, so we have to
Yes.
be more adaptable with the situation. Yeah, but that's good. The most important that we have to protect our country and our economy. Okay, good insight. Thank you, Bradley. Okay, and then Reynard Jonathan, you? Okay, you have written about the problem uh, of the Sukarno to Suharto administration. Okay. Yeah, you just try to describe to your friends in this class about what you are choose in your first tutorial.
In the 20th century, there has been a change in political powers when Suharto was overthrown because of his greed and complete control of Indonesia. As the president of Sukarno, Suharto was given the role of president.
The long life president.
The role of
Oh, the role. Okay.
the original law was that president must officiate for the lifetime. This law benefits Suharto and the dramatic change served. Suharto focused on equitable development only in Java Island and that made the citizen upset. He also assigned a law enforcement with legal immunity and people fighting
Bless you.
violence. Although the economy condition has flourished, later it fell down in 1998. It's also known as the Indonesian crisis 1998. The citizens of Indonesia felt enraged and rushed to various towards the Indonesian government, and luckily the law was changed and Suharto was vindicated. In chapter 7, the period reign of president and vice president was changed to centuries maximum. This had shown that changing law can transform political and also fix problems. Without the changing law, citizens would suffer more and
Okay, President told about the history. Previously, we have Sukarno as our president, and then thrown, yeah, and changed by Suharto. At the Sukarno times, lifetime president. There is no limitation for the presidency. But when Suharto come to power, everything has changed. The economic change, the political change, but Suharto also needs to improve and to change the law. Then what happened in 1998? It happens reformation, and then everything has changed, and then a limitation for the presidency for maximum for 10 years, yeah, only 2 periods. The question is like this: Jokowi will stop or will remain in power by the next month, is that right? 20th of October. Okay. Based on Indonesian law, is it uh, legal if Jokowi will becoming vice president for the next election? Is it okay or is it not okay? So, Jokowi will run for the vice president for the next election. Is it legal or illegal?
depends on the law. Depends on the law.
Depends on the law. Okay, any idea in here? No? Yes?
I think it's legal because he didn't want to be president. Like
Yeah.
the vice president.
So, Jokowi, 2 times period become a president.
Yeah.
And then for the next election, he will run for the vice president. Is it legal or illegal? Based on Indonesian law. The same as, for instance, who's the governor of the East Java? Ibu Kofifa, ya? Ibu Kofifa will run for the next governor election, ya? Okay. For instance, Ibu Kofifa win the election, and then for the 5 next years, he or she will run for the vice governor. Is it legal or illegal?
I think it's legal
Legal. Okay. What's your vision?
because because the
Yeah.
Officially,
yeah, because I mean she has not been the vice governor because for 10 years.
yeah, there's a loophole of law in Indonesia. So Jokowi, if he wants to be remain in power, he can run for the next vice president election because there is no regulation forbid him to become the vice president. But the ethics, the morality will stop him, yeah, from become a king, then become a
Vice.
vice king or something like that. Okay, thank you. Now, Graciana,
Yes.
open your the first tutorial, and you're answering the number 3. Okay. Explain shortly to this class.
So I choose the Corruption Eradication Law 2019 because I think the power of KPK has been
Reduce.
the reduced
Yeah.
power since um,
because the KPK have like supervisory council that has the authority to approve or reject every KPK action,
Okay.
which like they have other
Step.
step before they want to do something.
Okay. So there is no surprise, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Especially the word taking.
Yeah. The wiretapping voices should be authorized by the Dewas of KPK. Yeah. So KPK now they change the regulation. In every action, they should be approved by the Dewan Pengawas. So every action they have to report first. So KPK cannot strictly action or execute the problems or the way they can get the victims or the criminal. So they have to be approved by Dewas. Yeah. So this is more step and also needs to be concern of all of us because KPK now reducing its power. And then just yeah, please share to us about your answer in number 3.
On December 6, 2023, the Criminal Code Law Number 1 (TUHB) went through a significant revision and was confirmed on that day. It includes the removal of some punishment for a few small crimes, enhancing protection for personal privacy, including data collection and surveillance, harsher sanction for people who commit heavy crimes such as corruption and human rights violations. This is an example of legal development in Indonesia, specifically in social aspect.
Yeah. So in the new penal code, yeah, number 1, 2023, you mentioned that small crimes now becoming not being in that regulations, right? Small crimes
Not being punished.
not being punished, yeah. And then more harsher sanction for the another apa namanya harder harsher sanction for certain criminal, is that right? Okay, that's the changing of law of the penal code. We have new one, number 1 in the years of 2023. And then Angelin Liman. Yes. Please tell us about your answer on number 3.
Also, I wrote about ITE.
Yeah, ITE.
Yeah, ITE. So the original law from 2008 is mainly to like regulate online activities, digital communication, and the use of electronic data, but it didn't like include issues like the cybercrime. So then it was amended.
2011.
No. I wrote yang langsung to the 2024.
Oh, 2024.
Yeah. And so it addresses more cybercrimes like hacking, identity theft, and online fraud.
Yeah. So the ITE 2008 amendment to become more broad, yeah, in cybercrime and change to become in law number amended by
Amended by law number. Wait. One.
okay, that's the ETA, yeah, and more sanction. Okay, good. Now Sandrina, law number 25, 2007.
So, the original investment law guaranteed like advantages for like investors, for like their safety. But then, the process of it was a bit complicated for them, so they didn't like the idea of that law. And so, they changed it to the new law because it was criticized for its complexion and complex regulations, complicating the business navigation, and also face competition from neighboring countries in attracting foreign investments. And they needed to enhance labor market competitiveness and economic stagnation due to the slow growth and high unemployment. And then necessity of making Indonesia develop better like
That is for investment.
investment. And during the country's appeal to foreign and local investment required revisions to the old
Okay, good.
law.
Yeah, investment law. Yeah. Next to Trashel.
So I chose the data protection law. This law was formally, the data protection law was not provided by the government. However, due to the number of like cybersecurity threats such as like hacking and also the rapid digital transformation, the government decided to review the personal data protection law.
Yeah, that's new one. Yeah, we have a new law, data protection law. Okay.
To prevent further threats on individuals' personal data in October 2002. So that's when it was discontinued. This law aims to protect people's personal information in the digital age and enhance the uniqueness, data systems, and international privacy and data security standards, including the General Data Protection Regulation.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That's the new one. Yeah. Next to Vidya.
So my law is the law number.
Yeah, we have the same topics. Yeah. Okay.
Same topics.
Please describe the different angles.
Okay. So, as we know, like the e-commerce in Indonesia has been growing recently with like Shopee and TikTok Shop and Tokopedia and all that. So, like people are more inclined to buy in online shops than going to offline shops. But there wasn't any law that protects these people's information, like their bank accounts, the address they put into these Shopee and
Yeah.
Tokopedia like that. So the government enacted the law number 27 in 2022 regarding the personal data protection. So this law could, minimize the
Risk.
crime
Yeah.
and the risk that could happen.
To the customer.
Yeah, and protect the customer's personal data, their address,
Yeah,
or
transaction.
or their like what's it called? The national ID number.
Yeah, that's right.
And also the sellers too. So like it builds a more competitive environment for them. And it could also build trust between the sellers and consumers.
Yeah.
That could help in improving like the e-commerce sector, so people could more safely use it.
Yeah, and then we enhance the number of transactions for fintech. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Good. That one. And last, Winston, you. Yeah, please.
No.
Yeah, try to describe shortly about your answer in number 3 for the.
Okay, so my example for the political development in Indonesia is the environmental protection and management law on
Number 32, yeah?
on 2009.
Yeah.
The law basically emphasized the sustainable development of Indonesia using environmental planning policy, is along with the rational exploitation, development, maintenance, restoration, strict supervision, and control of environmental resources. This law was implemented because of increasing concerns about Indonesia's environmental condition, such as deforestation and air pollution, right?
Yeah.
which which was able to threaten Indonesia's biodiversity. Plus, the rapid industrialization of I'm sorry, I study a lot. I'm sorry about this.
Yeah, it's okay.
Plus, Indonesia's rapid industrialization and what pose really big risk is not only to natural ecosystems but also its citizens if they were left unchecked. So, these policies were implemented to not only protect Indonesia's environment but also will make sure the Indonesian citizens were negatively affected by its own development.
Okay. Winston, I'm really happy that you are putting the law number 32, yeah, about the environment.
Yeah.
Because today we are now really come up with the issue of sustainability.
Oh,
Is that right? Yeah.
Okay.
Sustainability in every aspect in business. In IT, in resource, in human resource, in accounting, in business, we should pay attention on sustainability. Okay. Now I will start with the module. You have, I have put this on use yet, so you have read my slide. Okay, the overview, this module will cover the fundamental framework of law, the constitution and legal structure in Indonesia, and you will learn about the legal system, Indonesian constitution, the hierarchy of law norms, and the doctrine of uh, separation of power, and how law are made, as well as the role of function of state institution established under the constitution. And this is the learning outcomes. Yeah. So you may see the number 4. Additionally, students able to explain the relationship between law at the various level and understand the issue that may arise when the regulation overlap or conflicts one another, which can potentially create problems in their application and enforcement. We have the topic, law system, legal framework, the constitution, structure of law, and state institution. This is the reading assignment, yeah, from Tim Lindsay and Simon Butt, Indonesian Law, a Systematic Approach, Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. Okay. Then, yeah. Now we are going to start with legal system. In this world, there are so many legal systems, but I only want to emphasize on 2 legal systems: civil law and common law. Civil law, or in other uh, meaning, we call it European continental. With this explanation, we know that civil law came from European countries, yeah, primarily based on written status or code. So the characteristic of civil law primarily based on written status or code, yeah, and then judges interpret and apply the law, but they do not make or set legal precedent. So they just read the law, they just apply, they just follow the law, and they not have any authorization to make a set a legal precedent or they make a law. So they have to rely on the law or on the regulation. They just apply the law. And common law or Anglo-Saxon, based on judicial decision and precedent. So in this legal system, yeah, law application based on judicial decision and precedent. So the judge will make the law. Yeah, though there are regulation or law, but just they have authorized to make a decision and precedents. Court really heavily on prior rulings to interpret law, how the law should be applied. While status exists, much of the law is developed through court decision and judicial interpretation. Yeah. So based on the judicial decision, and then though status exists, but mostly the law is developed through court decision and judicial interpretation. Okay, now we are going to Indonesia history. We are colonized by
Dutch.
the Dutch. Mostly when we are still in elementary, our teacher thought that we are colonized for more than 350 years. But it's not, yeah. So I try to make it right for you. Okay, before 1799, we are occupied by POC. That's not a country. That is not a state. Corporate, that's right. A corporate. That's so powerful, yeah, POC at the time. They just a corporate and they're selling things here, yeah, but they occupied in India, Belanda. And then France come here, 1800 to 1811. At the time, we have a history in here. Napoleon also came here to Indonesia. Yeah. Then British 11, 1811 to 1816. Yeah. But I don't know why that the British not occupied Indonesia until we get independence. Yeah. So the British run to Singapore and to Malaysia. Then the Netherlands starting colonized in 1816 to 1942. After 1942, what happens? The Japanese came. The Japanese came for 3.5 years, yeah, until the end of the World War II. And finally, we have the Independence Day. August 17, 1945, by the Soekarno-Hatta, yeah. And but we still have a controversial issue whether we are independent in August 17 or 19th of. Now, there are two different issues about the independence day of Indonesia. First, everyone knows that 17th of August 1945, but some of them say that, okay, before that, aggression 1 in 1947 and aggression 2 in 1948, when the Dutch wants to occupy Indonesia one more time, but they failed. This one, 19th of December 1949. That's the recognition of our sovereignty. There are two issues, whether we are independent in August 17 or December 1949. But the government officially declared that we are independent in August 17, 1945. So we are now 79 years. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully, Indonesia will be fine after the new administration for the next president. Yeah. And we have new capital city. Who wants to stay there? One. Okay. Though our president stay in 40 days. Yeah. After, this morning I was the news about the Jokowi will stay for 40 days officially in IKN. The constitution. Okay. After a day after the proclamation of the independence, we have the Indonesian Constitution of 1945. This is the original version. Yeah, the original version. And only 4 years can be implemented. Yeah, 1945 to 1949. Then Soekarno changed the constitution, becoming RIS, mean Republic of Indonesia Sementara. Yeah, applied in 1949 to 1950. Yeah, typo. A years. Yeah, Indonesian Constitution RIS or Republik Indonesia Sementara. So we have a federal state. Not only president, but we also the prime minister. And always change only a month, three months, 4 months, yeah. And the government is not so stable at that time. And then Indonesian Constitution Provisional in 1950 to 1959. Sementara, ya. Jadi after Indonesian Constitution RIS and then Indonesian Constitution Provisional for 4 years also, 1945 and 1950 to 1959. Then Sukarno back to the first version of Indonesian Constitution in 1959, Decree Presiden 59, and implemented until the Reformation in 1998. How many amendments have been 4 times? So have you opened my link, the Indonesian the new version? Yeah. You may see the under notes. Yeah. The first amendment, the first, the second, and the fourth, and you have complete information about the amendment of Constitution. Okay, next to the Constitution, we have Fourth Amendment. The foundation, form of state, unitary, or Indonesian we call it apa? Bentuk negara?
Kesatuan.
Negara Kesatuan, unitary. NKRI, NKRI. A single entity, yeah, a state government. And then the central government holds the ultimate authority and exercise control over the entire country, making laws, implementing policies, managing national affairs, and others. How many provinces we have today? How many? From 27 becoming 30, yeah, and then 34, and now 38. 38, that's right. Yeah. Papua becoming 5 or 6 provinces. And then I get also the issues that in Java and Central Java and East Java, also we have a new province. And you're surprising a lot to know about the new province in East Java, Malang, Kediri, Solo, Surakarta, Banyumas. So we'll see about the political development in Indonesia after this. Okay, although Indonesia is divided into province and region, these subdivisions do not have the same level of sovereignty as state in a federal system. So they don't have any authority as a federal system. And then the central government retains the power to regulate and oversee regional government. Article 1, paragraph 2, our constitution says that kedaulatan belongs to the people on exercise according to the constitution. So every political decision and law should be reflect the will and interest of the Indonesian people. Yeah, so should be reflect the wills and interests of Indonesian people. Okay, believe in Almighty God, a just and civilized humanity, and then democracy and social justice. Right. This is what Sukarno says in front of the.
Immediately we had proclaimed our independence in August 45. We attached as preamble to our constitution the Pancasila. Panca means 5, Sila. Immediately we had proclaimed our independence in August 45, we attached as preamble to our constitution the Pancasila. Pancha means five, Sila means principle. The Pancasila, the five guiding principles of our national life. Perhaps you know already what our Pancasila is. It gives us the five principles of our state. These are: first, believe in God. Second, nationalism. Third, humanity. Fourth, democracy. Fifth, social justice.
So if you want to hear the Sukarno voice, that's the Sukarno voice, yeah. Our first president. And now becoming the next topic, structure of law. Okay. Separation of power. We have legislative, executive, and judicative. Legislative, the House of Representative Council or DPR. Yeah. Before 1999, the member of DPR elected by not the people, not by before 1999. Yeah. Okay. Because you are not get bored, so I will try to share to you what happens before 1999. Okay. At that time, we still have three party, only three party. First,
Golkar.
P3. Second,
Golkar.
Golkar. And the third, PDI. The majoring party, Golkar, the yellow one. So, when we come to the election day, we are not choosing the people, choosing the picture of the party. Only one, two, or three. That's it. Then the party will choose the member of the DPR. That's how it works.
Wait, but then if the majority of people vote for Golkar, then all the DPR people is from Golkar?
What do you mean?
Like, because Golkar chooses the DPR members, are they like from the party's members?
Oh yeah, they have lists internally by the party. They compose the list, but our people or people Indonesia doesn't know who is the people or who are the members of uh, the party. So we only choose the picture, the P3, the Golkar or the PDI. Then suddenly we can have our representatives in the DPR, but mostly they are family members. The dynasty, politics dynasty, yeah. The father, wife, daughter, they are the members of the DPR. But since 1999, after the Reformation, they elected by the people through legislative election. So we choose the person, the photos. That's right. Though we don't know them, yeah, mostly. But that's more transparent and more democratic. The authorizing, the overseeing the administration of the government, and then approving laws together with the president. So, legislative running to approving the law together with the president and watching or supervising the administration from the government. That's the legislative. Now, before the Reformation, the MPR or the People Consultative Assembly is the the highest state institution in Indonesia. Yeah, the MPR. But after the Constitution, MPR only have two authorization duty. Yeah. But before we describe about what is the authorization of the MPR, the total number is to 727 people. So big numbers. 727 consists of the number of DPR, 575%, and then the new one, the DPD. What is DPD? Dewan Dewan Perwakilan Daerah or senator ya. 152 people from 38 provinces. The MPR retains only the power to inaugurate and impeach the president and vice president. That's all. Yeah. Only only one time in 5 years, yeah, the MPR duties. Inaugurate or impeach the president and the vice president. The DPD, the Regional Representative Council, only gives input on regional policies and collaborates with the DPR on certain legislative matters. What is the issues when we have the election of the legislation? The picture of the DPD members, still remember who is he? The ancient picture of the candidate of the DPD from West Java. Not remember? Okay. When we put our picture to be elected in the piece of form, yeah, what should we put in there? A formal photo or a funny photo? A formal one. But in Indonesia, we have a funny photo. Who is he? No, the comedian. And very famous with this very famous. Uhuy. Yeah. Sudah ya? Komeng. You may find and Google it, the picture of Komeng. Which one? Did you find it? Yes. Not formal picture, yeah. But with this picture, with those pictures, he won the vote for 5 million people. That's a good strategy anyway, yeah. Okay. But effective. Okay. Okay, what's
This one. Ya, fotoin dulu.
Ada yang fotonya rumah itu.
Oh, nggak tahu ya. Saya itu.
Bisa kok basic.
Sing orang itu kan, orang Medan.
Oh ya?
Iya kan, jadi itu
Aku
kan.
bisa gambar kalau aku sama sih.
Iya, itu satu-satu pilihan dulu.
Mana dong? Mana dong? Yo, Medan. Itu suka sih.
Ini Jason.
Bukan.
Jason yang
Enggak, aku belum bisa dia. Kamu cari dia ada? Aku udah kelompok. Aku udah di atas. Aku udah kelompok.
Oh ini.
Aku udah kelompok.
profilnya agak freak ya.
Oh itu. Tapi kayaknya dia ada. Ada orang yang masih mau. Tapi
Ini jatuh.
Kayak aku udah kelompok ya.
Okay, we have the president, yeah, the executive, the president. Yeah, the president is directly elected by the people through the presidential election. How many election you have been involved? Only one? Okay, only one, so the last one. Since 1999, we have at least 4 times presidential election. Yeah. 4 times, yeah. And our elected president, Mr. Prabowo, has already joining 40 times, but losing in every election, yeah. Okay. Inaugurated by the MPR, and then all the duty and tasks for the president we can split out at the Article 4 of our Constitution. And then together with the DPR, the president enacts the law atau mengesahkan undang-undang. Then we come to presidents, yeah. Because we are our country, the president both as the head of state and the head of government. In democratic state like Singapore or mention democratic country, bisa Indonesia, who have a different head of state and head of government, like in England. The president and the head of government. In Malaysia, no presidents, only king. Yeah. Okay. The example, just like in Singapore, they have presidents. Yeah. But is there any prime minister in Singapore? No prime minister. Okay, only one president. So the president holds 2 positions: the head of state and head of government. Yeah. The head of state means the president and also the prime minister become one position. Run the administration with the assistance of the vice president and minister. How many minister Mr. Prabowo will have for the next presidency? This morning, Pak Adi, watching the TV and the news, will be more than 40 ministers. so big, yeah, so big, so huge. With the previously we have only 33 ministers, but now 40 ministers. The primary role of the executive branch is to implement the law passed by the legislative. Yeah, they run the law. The judicative, we have Supreme Court or Mahkamah Agung, and we have also the new one, Constitutional Court, or what is it? Constitutional? Mahkamah Konstitusi, ya, or Mahkamah Keluarga in other issues. Mahkamah, ya. Mahkamah Agung, Supreme Court, Mahkamah Agung, and then Constitutional Court, therefore is Mahkamah Konstitusi. The hierarchy of law structure reflects the principle of supremacy of law and legal state upheld by Indonesia, where every regulation must have a legal basis from a higher regulation. So this is the hierarchy of Indonesian law. From UUD 45, TAP MPR, ya, undang-undang, and then peraturan pemerintah pengganti undang-undang or government interim emergency law, and then government regulation or PP, presidential regulation, Perpres, and regional regulation or Perda. This is the structure of law in Indonesia. The highest regulation, yeah, and then the regional regulation should comply with the highest regulation. Okay, any question about the structure of law? So the source of law should be our constitution, yeah. And we don't know whether the new DPR will amend the constitution for the fifth amendment. We don't know that. It could be, yeah. When after the Reformation, I just want to share a story. Soeharto thrown to power and then changed by Pak Habibie, ya, the president, the B.J. Habibie, only for 2 years. After Habibie, who is our president? After Habibie? No, Gus Dur, ya, Gus Dur. Gus Dur remained in power only for 2 years, yeah, only for 2 years, and then replaced by Megawati. Okay, at that time, DPR, because of President Gus Dur, yeah, freeze the DPR because of the conflict, and then come up an issue to become a president, they should be in a very good condition or maximum health. But Gus Dur, because of he at the time does not have any good condition in health, so the DPR wants to make a regulation that the president should be a very good condition in health. But then when Megawati remained in power, the DPR also want to change the regulation that the president should have a bachelor degree. Do you know why? Because Megawati. No. Megawati, yeah, she joined in Jakarta, yeah, UI Jakarta, but not finished. But now she only have a honoris causa, kehormatan as a professor, yeah. But though he doesn't have any chance to get a bachelor degree at the time, yeah. Then after Megawati, we have SBY for 2 periods. After SBY, we have Jokowi for the 2 periods, and then Pak Prabowo for, I don't know, 1 or 2 periods. Let's see, yeah, what happens. Okay. Next. Okay. Can we make a break for 10 minutes? Yes. We have 1 hour lecturing. Yeah. So we have 10 minutes, so we will start at 10:50. Yeah. And continue our class until 12. Okay.
Tapi sebenarnya nggak apa-apa nggak sih di kelompok.
Kelompoknya udah. Kelompoknya udah. Belum disimpan di data. Di grup. Di tutorial.
Oh, belum.
Bikin.
Iya sebenarnya, tapi belum.
Belum bikin dulu kok.
Bikin dulu. Mix ya, jadi jangan cuma nggak campur.
Kita redupin lagi.
Latihan untuk nanti dinilai benar pada saat case study dulu. Jadi latihan dulu. Oke.
Lagi. Berarti berapa? Dia bikin berapa kelompok? Tiga apa dua? Berarti tiganya 3, 2-nya 1.
Apa berhenti macam tu?
Oh, 3-nya 3 sama 2-nya 1 atau
Bradley,
4.
the teacher said the PPP block. What's that mean? I'm not good at Indonesian yet.
Sorry?
I think they said PPP block.
4-nya ada.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Kenapa 3 2?
I don't know. Block?
Si.
I'm not sure.
What
Okay.
is Kompok?
I don't know.
1.
Who said that?
I'm butchering it.
Who said that?
The teacher.
Yeah. Who
Jadi
said that?
mau 3, 3,
This teacher.
atau 2, 2. 3-nya 3, 2-nya 1 gitu ya. 3 kali 3 terus 2 kali 1.
Iya deh.
3 kali 3 9, 2 kali 1 2. Berarti 9 tambah 2 11. Oke? Berarti 3-nya kita kelompok.
Iya udah.
Ayo nih. Ini adalah pilihan hidup dan mati kita. Berarti
Satu.
ini harusnya dibilangin nggak sih?
Ulang. Mau ulang.
Gak apa-apa nanti.
3 kan?
Berdua. Oh ini udah berdua dulu kak? Iya deh. Keren lahir. Lu harus jawab cewek ya? Harus. Remove. Oh ini cowoknya udah 4 ya? Ya udah berarti cowoknya ada 1 kita yang cewek yang masukin.
Oh iya.
Nah, pinter banget gak sih aku?
Lagi satu buat tugas bikin apa lagi?
Ini tutorial. Suruh jawab pertanyaan.
Yang tutorial.
Wow.
Ini adalah pilihan hidup dan mati ya. Terus apa lagi? Udah 4. Oh, gak mau jangan bisa.
Kedua sama siapa? Siapa yang mau berkomponen kedua?
Ya kan tahu.
Kamu tidak itu.
Kelompoknya berapa? 3 orang?
Kalian berdua nggak apa-apa. Kalian berdua lah ya. Kalian berdua nggak apa-apa kan?
Gak apa-apa sih.
Kalian berdua kerja kelompok berdua.
Ya.
Coba lihat
Ya
tutorialnya.
wes, next. Iya dah. Yang atas itu next sih. Jangan.
Yang sebagai sih.
Oh ya, orang India itu kapan datangnya? Tanggal berapa?
Next week.
Senin dia datang.
Dia bilangnya next week udah bikin
Lah ya.
3.
Next week-nya udah berapa kali kan?
Dua kali sih.
Kira-kira sama orang Indonesia juga kan?
Dia enggak lah. I don't know.
Berarti kayak gitu.
Dia bener-bener level. Ah, bisa dengar Indo loh.
Apa?
Dia bisa dengar lagi.
Iya, saya bisa dikit.
Oh, dia orang sini.
Yo, Vincent kan dia udah tinggal di Jakarta.
Tapi dia kan berdua tuh. Dia berdua.
Tapi aku sama Neymar.
Iya. Kok gitu punya Vincent dulu nggak? Oh nggak usah. Jadi Sen.
Kasian guys, jangan dibully guys.
Dari ya, mikir.
Terus ya.
Satria.
Oh iya.
Saya lagi. Oh, aku nih sama yang dari terus pokoknya pastinya. Oh, ini bagus. Jelek kita sekolah lagi. Iya. Iya,
Itu sih.
ini yang foto gitu.
Kamu juga.
Enggak apa.
Kamu juga ikut.
Aku tidur kok.
Oh, pulang, dia sudah pulang. Lu tanya dong.
Gila.
Di grup. Ini.
Dia sama Bradley.
Iya. Lagi apa nih?
Oh, berdua doang.
Soalnya nggak bisa.
Tiganya dikasih tiga.
Tapi kalau minggu depan banyak orang India itu datang guys.
Bukan ini hari ini.
Oh, hari ini bukan buat tugas minggu depan.
No, today.
Oh, it's button this. Oh, there it is. I can't put this for lunch.
Enggak, gue. Nah, udah cuma soal enggak dong. Enggak. Enggak. Semua kajian enggak dendam. Dendam kita cek enggaknya tuh enggak.
Siapa?
Tanya cuma dapat 2.000 dendam. Enggak mau takut aku. Apa gitu? Ya.
I quit.
Bukan tahu.
Lalu, Pak, nyambung. Kan lu yang ngomong.
Karena mereka nggak lihat kalau kita
Mereka tahu. Jadi korban apa sih? Enggak.
aman. Jadi nggak
Apa sih yang salah? Enggak lah.
tahu tiga. Seru kan? Aku kalau pasti seru.
Korban jenazah. Ini ngomong jauh sih.
Hari ini mana sebulan gaji? Enggak pernah lihat Pak. Makan APC. Coba gue udah kerja APC. 4 ayam 2 nasi. 50.000. Mantap sih. Nah, paling kelompok. Kerja. Habis ini kita mau makan selo langsung ke saudara sih. Oh, sini makan sih.
Oh ini
Bukan ini guys, guys. Vincent. Yep. You want after the sessions we will have working together for the economic class, like right? Now, I think me and Vijay still need to have some foods, so I think we'll start at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock program to 3 o'clock.
Okay, just before we start the next material, do not forget to make a group. Yeah, consists of 2 until 3 members of the student, but it should be mixed, yeah, but not mixed, yeah. Mixed, you make 2 or 3 members because we want to hear the result for the second assignment of the tutorial. Yeah. Okay, now law making process. Cara membuat undang-undang. We have law number 12, 2011, the formation on legislation, yeah, as amended by law number 13, 2022, and law can be initiated either by the DPR or by the President. Jadi usul inisiatif bisa dari DPR or Presiden. Then initiator from the DPR, yeah, the initiated bills. Member of DPR, committees or the DPD itu as initiatornya. This proposed bill must be accompanied by the academic paper and then including a scientific study and rationale for the necessity of the law. A research or study, yeah, with the proposed of the bill. And then initial stage, the process begins with the internal discussion in the DPR. So every member of the DPR, they can propose the bills and they can initiate the bills. And drafting by the DPR of legislative body, or in Indonesia we call it Badan Legislasi. Then one of the structure in the DPR we call it Badan Legislasi, who initiated the bills from the DPR side. and the example of the DPR initiative bills. Any comment or idea about what is the draft or the bills from the DPR? How about the kekerasan dalam rumah tangga? From the DPR or from the President? Perlindungan data or data protection law, is it from the President or from the DPR? Okay. Mostly just family law, like kekerasan dalam rumah tangga, perlindungan perempuan, ada juga perlindungan tenaga rumah tangga, pembantu rumah tangga, itu initiated by the DPR. Sound of the voice of the people of Indonesia. So they send a proposal when the DPR member came to the region, the hearing the aspiration from the people of Indonesia. Then we have the President initiated bills by the President through the relevant minister or agencies, and also accompanied by the academic paper or study or research, yeah, and philosophical basis for the proposed law. Begin with the drafting by the minister or agencies before being submitted to the DPR, and then President initiated bills are drafted by the relevant minister also. President initiated bills, and then we have DPR Commission. So after whether the bills from the DPR or from the President, the DPR will give the discussion through this commission. Commission 1, 2 until 10, yeah, sorry, 10 commission, or 11 commission. Okay, mostly business law will be discussing in the commission of which one? The business law or business or any kind of activities in business. We have 6 trade, industry, investment, cooperative, small and medium enterprises, state-owned companies, yeah, or 10, what is it? Education, youth affairs, sport, tourism, art and culture, energy, natural mineral resources, research and technology. Yeah. So this is the commission of the DPR, based on the law, based on the scope of law. Enactment by the President atau pengesahan from the President. Once the draft law is approved by the DPR, the next stages is the enactment by the President. The President will sign the bills. Yeah. And the President has maximum 30 days sign the draft. If the President does not sign within this period, in 30 days, the draft or the bills automatically becomes permanent law. Yeah. So if the President just not signing, based on the Constitution, the draft law automatically becomes law. The enactment is marked by the President's signature on the draft law, which means the change its status to law. So since the President signing the bills, it becoming a status of law. Jadi menjadi undang-undang. Sebelumnya adalah RUU. Ya. Okay. Enactment of President. Any question? Clear enough? Okay. Numbering by the State of Secretariat. Last week, I give you the link of the State Secretariat, is that right? So you may find any kind of regulation or law in Indonesia. Yeah. After being enacted by the President, the law must be registered and assigned an official number. The numbering is done by the State of Secretariat, which has administrative task of issuing law and regulation. So it should be in this minister. They put the number and posting in the website. Now, we have state institutions which have the government. In law and security, we have our Industri Amil, DMI, and Polri, yeah, and also student attorney, and also corruption eradication commission, or KPK. And also in finance and banking, we have Bank of Indonesia, PPATK, yeah, or the Indonesian Financial Transaction Report and Analysis Center, and also BPK, Indonesian Audit Board, or OJK, the Financial Service Authority, which have an authorization for supervising the banking industry and finance, and the Commission of the Supervision of Business Competition, or KPB. Does anybody knows about what is the function of PPATK? PPATK? Okay. Share to this class what is the duties of the PPATK. Pencucian uang. Oke. Apa? Yang lain? What is the most or the main function of the PPATK? From the title, yeah, the Financial Transaction Report and Analysis Center. I will give you a short explanation about this. Okay, I'm sure that all of you have a bank account, right? Bank account. The name is Budi. Have one bank account. Let's say, name it. BCA? Is that right? Yeah, BCA. 1 billion. 1 billion, yeah? Okay. We have PPATK. Then Budi, not a good person. He tends to have a corruption or smuggling something. Then he transfer to, let's say, Rachel. Yeah. 50% from this amount. How many? 5 million. 100 million. Then Rachel give to her boyfriend, yeah, Anton. Sorry, yeah. Okay. 10%. How many? 50 million. Then Anton share to his girlfriend also, yeah. I just want to make it a little bit complicated, yeah. Like, name it. Who? Susi. Susi, 10 million. Okay. PPATK. Then Budi catch by the police. Okay, at the police, and then the interview by the police in the police station, and then Budi, you have a transaction in many area, in many people. Yeah. No, I don't have it. We have proof. The police will ask PPATK to search all the transaction. The police. So the police will ask PPATK